Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Virtual Coffee Break with Tanisha. I am your host, Tanisha Burke. And if you are new to the channel, thank you for checking us out. This channel is all about network marketing. I've been in the industry in my last company that I'm in now for about 7.5 years, and I've done some other network marketing companies before that. And so here I'm just sharing information that can help you along your journey. We have a lot of engaging going on and people sharing their journey and things that they're going through. And we just want to help everybody through the industry. If you are returning, welcome back. So happy to see everyone. We have so much to get into today, just kind of like last week. But we are going over the book Your First Year in Network Marketing by Mark and Rene Yarnell. So this is the book that we're going through for the month of February. And we are on chapter 5. We are on chapter 5. And I have a strange feeling chapter 5 is also going to continue through next Tuesday as well. Why? Because there are a lot of summary points in chapter 5, and I don't want us to rush through it because it is a very, very, very important part of the business. So if you do not have your notebook, go ahead and get your notebook and your pen so that you can take some copious notes as we dive into chapter 5 of Your First Year in Network Marketing, called Attacking the Warm List Warhead. Attacking the warm list warhead. Overcome the reluctance to offer a quality lifestyle to family and friends. Anybody, when they first joined the business, did not want to talk to their family and friends about this? Right? Hello. I think that's everybody, right? I do believe that is everybody. So we're going to talk about it because anytime you join a network marketing business, one of the first things that your upline is going to say to you is make your list. Make your list. Everybody says it, right? If you join a business and nobody told you that, I don't know what company you were in, but we all say that. Make your list because it starts with your list. Why? Because your list is your warm market. These are the people that you know. And we always say network marketing is a relationship building business, right? And so why not start with the relationships you already have? I mean, it just makes sense, right? So I'm going to just read the first chapter of the book for Your First Year in Network Marketing. And let's jump into this. All right. So the first 6 months in the career of a new distributor are critical, much like the first 6 years in the life of a child. The first months in network marketing are formative times, and it is during these impressionable months that patterns of success must be firmly established in each new distributor's mind. Very few people will survive the first year if their first few weeks are misspent, and we believe our industry's high attrition rate can be traced back to seeds of failure sown in these very first early stages. Apply what we teach you in this chapter, and you are far more likely to find yourself among the first year survivors and thrivers rather than a part of that attrition statistic. So, I mean, that's pretty deep when you think about it. They're basically saying that if you don't set a strong foundation during that first week, like soon as that person hits enter, they're enrolled in your company. If you don't set a strong foundation, that person is doomed for failure. And it's your fault because you didn't set the foundation. So let's jump into the takeaways from chapter 5. And I'm not going to rush through this. Like I said, it may take us 2 episodes to get through all of the takeaways, but I think it's just that important. I mean, just reading that first chapter lets you know how important it is, right? So, number one, a warm list. What is a warm list, Tanisha? Well, a warm list is a group of individuals from your present and past whom you know well enough that were you to pick up the phone and call them, they would recognize you once they heard your name. That's your warm list. So these are the people that you know. These are your family members. These are your friends. These are your associates that you hang out with, maybe after work. You know, y'all always go to the bar, right? These are your girls that, you know, Friday night when you're having the wind down, they know you. These are your neighbors. Sometimes y'all borrow stuff from each other, right? That is your warm list. You already have an established relationship with your warm list people. All right. Number two, the direction of the 21st century is to build on warm market relationships as opposed to the philosophy of throwing mud on the wall and hoping some sticks. We see that sometimes, right? There are some people, when we tell them to make a list, they say, I don't know anybody, right? We'll tell them, make a list of 50 people, make a list of 100. Like Jennifer's laughing because that was her. TT, I don't know anybody. Yes, you do. Have you been living in a cave? You know people, right? You're in a service industry and you're in education. How do you not know anybody, right? So a lot of times we have to help those people come up with the list, because you have to start with your warm market. Again, when you think about network marketing, it's a friend telling a friend. It's referral marketing. That's all it is, a friend telling a friend, as opposed to companies using radio advertisements or TV advertisements or print advertisements to market their product. They use the distributors, the marketing reps, to be that mouthpiece for them. So we use our network of people to sell these products, right? So everybody has a network. So we just have to kind of, sometimes it's like pulling teeth, right? When we're working with our new distributors about that. So we definitely want to start with the warm market and not just go straight to the cold market. All right. Number three, the larger you build your warm list, the more solidly you will establish your business. The larger you build your warm list, the more solidly you will establish your business. It's kind of like in my company, we talk about the first 3 seats, right? The first 3 people that partner with you are like the most important. That's the foundation, right? And those 3 people, if you get some solid people who want to build with you, now your business is going to take off, because it's not just you trying to build a business. Now you have 3 solid people, right? And you always want to continue to front line to bring in more people. So you don't want to get comfortable, you know, with those first 3. You want to keep growing even beyond that as well, right? Let me just give a quick shout out to those of you that have joined us in the chat. I see you, Kimberly. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Boss lady, how are you? Okay, watch this. Arthetis. Did I say it right today? Did I say it right today? Great morning, Arthetis. Thank you so much for joining. I see Miss Angie checking in from Alabama. Roll Tide. All right. Thank you for joining. Hey, Miss Wanda. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, Chrissy. Welcome, welcome. Great day. Great day. We got Christina checking in. Thank you, Christina. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Karen, I see you. Thank you for joining. Again, I'm going in and I'm posting in the chat. If any of you are camera ready and you would like to join us in studio, please do so. Hey, Artheta said I said it correctly. I knew I would get it. You know what I thought of, right, Arthetis? Lettuce. Just like Miss K said. Think of lettuce and then you'll get her name right. Hey, Shamika. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. All right. So let's get back into it. Again, the larger you build your warm list, the more solidly you will establish your business. So you want to help your brand new business partners make a very, very, very big list. So let's go to number 4. Here we go. Now check this one out. This is according to your first year in network marketing. Make sure new distributors are taught how to use trigger devices, aka memory joggers, in order to help them recall at least 2,000 friends and acquaintances. This is according to the book, not according to Tanisha. I try to help my people just make 50, and it's a struggle sometimes, right? But 2,000? I don't know. What y'all think about that? Do y'all think that that number is like way too high and they shouldn't have said that in the book? Shamika, I did put it in the chat. You talking about the link, right? It's in there. It's in there. Hey, Josephine. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 2,000. They said make a list of 2,000. We should be encouraging. Go ahead, Director Burke.
When you look at that number, yeah, it seems high, but then when you think about it logically, it's not, because if you peak 2,000 people, the numbers are going to get you to where you definitely need to be. So, like, let's say if you peak 2,000 people, 200, at least minimum of those 2,000, I'm going to sign up. And out of those 200, you're going to have like at least 20 to 50 people really work their business extremely well, which will get you what you want. So yeah, I can see why you would say that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, how do we get our people to make a list of 2,000 when they struggle to make a list of 50, right? So it is super, super important to work with your new business partner to help them come up with that list. Yeah, you definitely going to hit 2,000 over time for sure, especially when you're leveraging social media. So I guess actually, if you are leveraging social media, that does help as well. So I guess I could see that. But yeah, off the jump, that's tough, right? Yep, 10% will sign up. So that's going to be 200. Mm-hmm. You want to peak quality. You definitely want to choose quality over quantity, Jennifer. But again, this is your warm market. So you're basically peaking the people that you already know, right? So that's going to be everybody, your family, right? There's people who have really, really large families, right? If you're married, it's not just your family. Now it's your spouse's family as well, right? All right. So let's get into number 5. Remember not to yield to the arguments and rationalizations new distributors use in order to avoid approaching their warm market. What is this saying? This is saying your new business partner, when you tell them to make their list, they're going to fight you, right? They are going to fight you on that and tell you, oh, no, I can't talk to my sister about this. She's not going to be interested. No, my brother, nah, my auntie, my uncle, no, they're not going to want to. Now they're not right. They're going to give you a whole bunch of excuses. Don't allow them to do it. And my philosophy is I don't make excuses, therefore I don't take them from anybody. And anybody who's ever been coached by me knows I will call you out on your excuse. I'm gonna listen. I'll be like, but then I'm gonna smack you into reality. Like, okay, all of that is not gonna pay the bills. So instead of telling me all the reasons why you can't, tell me how you can. Tell me how you can make it happen. Don't tell me you don't know anybody. Instead, go grab your phone and say, let me see who I do know. Let me start with at least that, right? So don't take excuses from your exactly, AB. Don't make excuses, make adjustments. That's what we say, right? All right. So that was number 5. Everybody got number 5? I'm going to go back. Let's start at number 1. A warm list is a group of individuals from your present and past whom you know well enough that were you to pick up the telephone and call them, they would recognize you once they heard your name. Number 2, the direction of the 21st century is to build on warm market relationships as opposed to the philosophy of throwing mud on the wall and hoping some sticks. Number three, the larger you build your warm list, the more solidly you will establish your business. Number four, make sure new distributors are taught how to use trigger devices, aka memory joggers, in order to help them recall at least 2,000 friends and acquaintances. Number five, remember not to yield to the arguments and rationalizations new distributors use in order to avoid approaching their warm markets. All right. Number six, if you let your doubts stand in the way of launching your business, you are guaranteed to fail. But if you go forward and persevere, you will succeed. I love that. If you let your doubts stand in the way of launching your business, you are guaranteed to fail. But if you go forward and persevere, you will succeed. Director Burke, how important is that launch?
I feel that that launch is the single most important thing that you could do right in the beginning of your new business experience. I mean, it's instrumental because we always say that you can bring somebody to a live meeting, and that's a surefire way to get them into the business. And then again, you can always get them on a three-way call or a three-way Zoom, and that's a good way as well. But a launch I feel is the quickest way to grow your business. And that's exactly what you need to do the moment you get in here. When your coach tells you, hey, we got to do this launch, it's about being coachable, about being teachable, doing what's required, and just watching your business grow and expand from there. And plus, it's a heck of a what is it? Heck of a belief check when people sign up in your organization. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I remember my coach explaining it like, a plane taking off, right? As a plane takes off, it can't go 20 miles an hour down the runway and then expect to go in the air. No, it has to take off like a rocket with speed in order to get up in the air. And so we have to do the same with our business. This is why when you first join, we always want to launch you within the first 24 to 48 hours, 72 max, right? We want to launch you no less than within the first 72 hours of you starting the business. Why? Because we want your business to take off like a rocket, right? We want to also help you make that belief check sooner than later, right? And so if we drag our feet on launching your business, which is creating the opportunity for you to invite your family, friends, acquaintances to hear about your new business, that income, that belief check is going to come in slow, right? So it really comes down to how fast do you want to make your money back? And most people say, oh, I want to make it back fast as possible. Okay, then we need to launch you ASAP, right? Number seven, move past your comfort zone and offer everyone on your warm market list this opportunity, especially those you feel are already too successful to consider doing the business. Ooh, let me read that again. Move past your comfort zone and offer everyone on your warm list this opportunity, especially those you feel are already too successful to consider doing the business. Director Burke, why do you think that they said to especially offer the opportunity to the people you think are too successful? They're already making too much money.
Oh my goodness. This is about like whenever you see somebody and you think that they're high hanging fruit and you get like kind of nervous or apprehensive about approaching them because you just automatically think in your head like they won't need this, they don't need it, they're too successful already. Why should I freaking approach them? What I need to do is just approach people like me and people who are like struggling and everything like that. But successful people, they have levels of responsibility in place, and they could be looking for something that you may not be aware of. They may be looking for time to be able to do things, maybe always looking for more money. I mean, there could be a myriad of reasons. And plus, they also have that work ethic that made them successful before that they would be able to bring into this and become successful as well. Back to you.
Absolutely. And they're smart. They did not become successful because they were stupid. They became successful because they're smart. And when you're able to present them with an opportunity to create 6 and 7 figures on a part-time basis, who would not look at that and say, huh, this is a smart decision? Here's the other thing to think about these successful people. A lot of them are investing in the stock market, which is risky. And they will invest thousands of dollars in the stock market with that high risk, right? But they also understand high risk, high return. Well, guess what? When they look at this business and see it's a low to no risk, high return, the smart people like, huh, this is good. This is real good. I think you're onto something here, right? The other thing about a lot of successful people, they may be making 6 figures, but it's not residual. That's great. They got a high paying job, but it's not residual. Okay, so what? That person is a lawyer. Okay, you're an attorney. Great. Okay, you're a doctor, you're a surgeon, you're a brain surgeon, a heart surgeon. Great. But when you stop operating, you stop eating, unless you have something else to fall back on, right? So this again, it's really about um going after the high hanging fruit. Go ahead, Director Burt.
Yeah, so I was thinking, along with that, successful people, they understand, Miss Tanisha, that they have to, if they want something, they have to make a sacrifice to get it. And they're good with that. It's like they understand that there's no withdrawal without a deposit.
Yes,
And successful people, of course, they easily have $200 to get started in our
that's
organization. So
true. They're not
yeah.
complaining about that, right? They're
Uh-huh.
not saying, oh, I didn't know I had to pay. Successful people understand that you have to make an investment. Let's go to Amazing K's question because I think this is a good question. Well, first of all, she's saying she's under the weather. So, Miss K, we are sending you healing vibes and hope you feel better soon. And she says she agrees that the launch needs to happen soon. What suggestions do you have to give to the new business partners who don't want to launch? Well, that is a great question. Number one, you first have to get people's buy in to be coached. You have to first get their buy in to be coached. They have to agree that they are going to follow your leadership and they need to understand what their role is and what your role is in that partnership, right? And as the coach, your role is to call the play, their role is to run the play. So you have to have that conversation with them first, okay? And get them to agree to be coached by you. That means as a coach, they can't question anything you're asking them to do at that point, right? They're trusting because they don't know what they don't know. And so, what I always say to my new business partners immediately, like after they hit enter and it says, okay, you're enrolled, congratulations, you're a new business owner. I say, okay, my goal is to help you make this investment back within the next 30 days. Is that okay with you? And what do you think they say, Miss K? They say, absolutely, of course. Nobody's going to say, no, I'm all right with waiting until next year to make my investment back. Says nobody ever, right? They're like, absolutely. And I say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to launch your business once a week for the next 4 weeks. Go grab a pen and paper. I'm going to help you make this invitation list because I don't want you telling anybody that you started this business because that's going to ruin the launch. And go get your calendar. Let's schedule all 4 right now. And that's what I do. We schedule their 4 business launches on the very first day, and I help them to start making their list. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. Successful people can push the business much easier. They can afford it and have their website running constantly. Exactly. No credit holds. That's the other thing with successful people. We don't have to worry about them going on credit hold. All right. Let's get back into it. Oh, lost my spot. Okay, number 8. Professionals often avoid acknowledging their participation in network marketing. This is bad for their business because that doubt and insecurity is sensed by business partners and prospects. Professionals often avoid acknowledging their participation in network marketing. And this is bad for their business because that doubt and insecurity, it's sensed by business partners and prospects. So they're basically saying, the successful people that might join your business, the professionals, the doctors, the attorneys, the real estate agents, that sometimes they're quiet and they're not publicly letting their network of people know that they're even in network marketing, because they kind of feel embarrassed or think that they're going to think negatively of them because they're in network marketing, right? So that happens, but it's not good for them to do that because their business partners can tell that they're feeling doubt and insecurity. But more importantly, their prospects get a sense of that as well, right? And so now they don't trust them, right? Remember, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So if you're feeling insecure about your business, you're going to attract other people that are going to be insecure about your business. If you have doubts about your business, you're going to attract other people who have doubts about your business. If you don't believe your business can create that financial freedom that you are saying that you desire, guess what? Your prospects are not going to believe that this business opportunity you're trying to sell them on is going to create financial freedom for them. Okay. So we got to help them get that belief up. And what's the best way to get their belief up about the business? Help them make that belief check immediately. Think how much more they'll be more willing to share the opportunity if they make a belief check within their first week or their first couple of weeks, right? Now they're happy because they're like, oh, yeah, I made some money my very first week, right? Well, that doesn't happen if you're not launching them. You're not putting them in a position to make a belief check right away. So that's why that is so important. Okay. Number 9. Moving on, child. Moving on. Can't share your business at work? Be sure during in-home presentations to show that you are proud and enthusiastic about the industry and your company. A lot of us have this issue, right? If you're still working a job, they don't want you going around telling the other employees how they can make some money on the side, right? You can't do that, right? Some of you are in, law enforcement or education, and, they got very, very strict rules about that. Can't say anything to them at work, but what you can do is have an in-home presentation and invite them to your home. Invite your coworkers to your home so that you can easily, openly talk to them about the opportunity. They can see it for themselves, and make sure that you are proud and enthusiastic. When they see your excitement about the business, guess what? Then now they're going to be excited about the business as well. All right. Number 10. Been in other MLMs and have already approached the same people in the past? Raise your hand if that's you. Have you ever been in another, outside of the company you're with now? Have you ever been in 1, 2, 3 other MLM companies? And of course, they told you the same thing. Talk to your family and friends, right? Haven't we all done that? Right? And so now you're in your new business, right? And you're excited about your new business, and you're like, oh boy, I got to go talk to these same people I've been talking to. They're not going to believe me about this one, right? Well, let's see what Mark Yarnell has to say about this. He says, overcome this hesitancy by assuring your friends and family that your research has finally led you to the right company. I love that perception. It's like, oh yeah, when I did Mary Kay, yeah, I was researching, right, right, and then I joined Amway. I was still doing my research, right. Then I joined Advocate. I was still doing my research. So I have like 3 different companies that I've researched, but now, see, I learned a lot. Now I got it. I got it. I found it. I found the right one. So all those years of me researching, I finally found the right one. Somebody on Facebook said, luckily, this is the first one for me. Yep, you got it right. Probably your first time, right? Absolutely. So I love that. Director Burke, what are your thoughts on that approach? Right? Your years of research has finally led you to the right company.
I love that approach. It shows posture. Shows posture because your people gonna be like, "Oh, here he comes with this thing again." But if you say something like that, it's like, what can they say after that? It's like,
Nothing. 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 And it goes back to that saying we always say, you know, if think about the first person you dated. Did you marry them? Most people say no. No. How many more people did you date after that first person before you finally said I do? You probably went through multiple people that you dated. And what did you do? With each relationship, you learn what you didn't want. And then now finally you find the right one like I did, and you're like, I'm good now. But I had to go through my research. And they all the losers, right? All the ones that wanted to use me and didn't appreciate me. I had to go through all of that to finally find the right one. I have my Prince Charming now. I'm good, right? But again, I had to do my research. Go ahead, Director Burt.
funny story. I had actually said that to a woman prospect, and she was missing her ex so bad she started crying. So
Serious.
now I just use the whole bad meal thing. Have you ever had a bad meal at a restaurant like McDonald's? And they're like, yeah. It's like, but that didn't stop you from going back, right? So I use that now. But yeah, that was some funny stuff, man. She just like, I just miss him so much, and it turned
Oh
into
my
like a counseling session, and I totally lost the cell. I was like, yeah, I can't have this woman in this business right now.
God. Jennifer said you triggered her. Yep. Big time trigger. All right. So yeah, I like this one, that approach better. To just say, my years of research had led me to the right one. This way we don't trigger anybody, right? All right. Number 11, never qualify your prospects. To decide in advance that one person is too important to be approached or another is too inadequate to succeed is economic suicide. Never qualify your prospects. To decide in advance that one person is too important to be approached or another is too inadequate to succeed is economic suicide. I talk about this often. We always say, stop making decisions for other adults. You don't know what is going on that might make them say, oh my gosh, this is what I've been praying for. Or has anybody ever signed somebody or approached somebody about their business and they said, you know what? I was just researching becoming a travel agent. And here you go with this travel business opportunity. Oh my gosh. But meanwhile, you may have thought, they're making 6 figures on their job. They're not going to be interested in being a travel business owner, a travel agent. She's an attorney. She's a whatever. She's the principal at the school. She's not going to be interested. Or the opposite. He can't even keep a job, or she can't even keep a job. Then they quit everything they start. They ain't never finished nothing in their life. I'm not gonna. The book is telling us that's economic suicide. And let me tell you why. And you guys have heard this. The people that you think will, won't. And the people that you think won't, will. Case in point, my brother in law. I am not a betting woman. However, If 5 years ago you told me that my brother-in-law was going to join a network marketing business, I would have said, heck no, he is not. He is not going to do that. But guess what? He's in the business now, right? Director Burke, talk about that. This is your brother. You know him. You love him. You grew up with him.
Man, yeah, I love my brother more than anything on earth, and one of the things that I loved about him is that he was a worker bee just like me, but he basically got one job and it was just longevity. So he pretty much set the example of how to be at a job. So when we finally got into this business, one of the things we started becoming successful, I would go up there like what, 2, 3 times a year and talk about this business opportunity. And he just would never ever bite. But that was the person he was. And that's whenever I always complained about that to you. It's like, look, he's gonna do his own thing. You just need to keep doing yours. And I remember we went up there, we did a couple of meetings up there. He was there supporting us, and he just didn't bite. He just never bit. And then all of a sudden, one day, last year, he's like, hey, I'm ready to get into the business. And I'm telling you, it was one of the happiest days of my life. And now that he's still in this and still doing strong, it's like I wish nothing but the best for him. Back to you.
Exactly, exactly. And here's the thing, it goes back to, we don't know what's going on in the heads of the people. This is why you cannot qualify themselves. These are grown adults, right? So what was the shift that happened for my brother-in-law? Well, his son had a baby. So now he's a grandfather. And he has a very strong desire to leave a legacy for his grandchildren, because he does not want his grandchildren to suffer the way he has and go through the challenges and things that he has financially, right? But if Director Burke had qualified him and said, trust me, my brother don't even like people, he ain't gonna do a network marketing business, right? And that, I'm telling you, that is what I would have thought. That's what I did think. I was like, he would never. Nope, nope. He don't like nobody. He don't like to go nowhere. He don't like to talk to people, right? But what triggered? He's a grandfather now. Director Burke?
Yeah, and now he's going to the meetings. He's plugging in. He actually came to convention last year. I mean, I'm so excited about his possibility, what he's going to be able to do in the future. And it's like it's a total 180 change from the way he used to
180.
be. We would have never thought he would have ever wanted to do something like this, but here he is.
Exactly. And then you have the opposite. There's people that you're like, oh my gosh, this person is a social butterfly. They're going to do great in network marketing. And then they come in and do nothing. They don't talk to anybody. They don't show up for their own success, right? So it goes both ways. So never qualify your prospects, meaning don't make decisions for grown adults. Your job is just to expose them to your opportunity and let them make the decision for themselves, because they are not telling you everything. Anybody ever have a three-way call and you get your prospect on the phone with your upline, and your prospect, this is somebody you've known them most of your life, but they start telling your upline stuff that you didn't even know. And you're like, I didn't even know they were going through that. Or I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. Has anybody ever experienced that? Just type me in the chat. It could be your best friend that you got on a three-way call with your upline, and your best friend is just spilling the beans about stuff that's going on in their life, and you didn't even know. And you're like, how did I not know this about my own best friend? We talk like 4 times a day, right? Why? Because they're more comfortable sharing this stuff with your upline because they don't know your upline. So your upline is not prejudging them. That's why. I don't care who your best friend is. They're not telling you everything. I don't care who your sister or your brother is. They're not telling you everything. So this is why you cannot prejudge these people. You cannot qualify them. They need to qualify themselves to say, yes, I want to do it. No, I don't want to do it. But too many times we are making decisions for these people and you have no clue of what's going on in their life. So let's not do that. And also remember this. Some people are going to be a bridge to other people. Some people are just going to be a bridge to other people. So you want to share it with everybody. And if it's not for them, guess what? They can give you a referral. All right. All right. Number 12. If your professional career has a potential conflict of interest that hampers recruiting efforts, you can either A, prospect through lifestyling by approaching people through your day to day, letting them know without mentioning your business that you would like to get together when it's appropriate. All right. So we're talking about you have the type of job. Let's say you're an attorney. Let's say you work, I don't know, in a doctor's office, whatever. But, or let's say I got it. You work at the airport. Right? You work for JetBlue, and you can't just outwardly be talking about your travel business. Talk about you're gonna be booking people on Spirit and United Airlines and Southwest, right? So your career is kind of like a conflict of interest for you to be talking about your travel business when you work for a airline, right? That would be a conflict of interest. So we're saying the way to approach them is through lifestyling. That means just as you're going through your day to day, you're at work, you're doing your thing or whatever, you don't mention your business company. You just say, you know what, I have this opportunity. And, outside of work, I would love for us to, maybe go to lunch together or, have some drinks after work or whatever. But, let's get together when it's appropriate outside of here. Right. So that's one way. And then the second way is to sponsor someone who knows your business associate and can ethically approach those people. So somebody who's doesn't work for the company but still knows the same people, bring those people in, and then now they can go after those people because they don't work for the company, right? Yeah, Constance said can't talk to passengers, right? She works at an airline, at an airport, right? So she can't talk to them. So she likes that. She said, that's good. That's good. Okay, see, so I just helped you. All from reading the book, right? All right. Number 13. You may want to consider prioritizing your list by using target marketing, wherein you share a personal background with certain groups from your warm market or lukewarm market. I love this. So, like, for example, Jennifer works in education, right? She also has a serving job, right? So guess what? We could do a business presentation just for educators, and I can say, okay, get all the teachers that you can on this one presentation, and we're going to present to just the teachers, right? But then she has a serving job. I can also say, okay, get everybody that you work with, at the restaurant or whatever, and let's have a presentation just for them, right? Amira does homeschooling, so she's in a lot of homeschooling groups. So I can say, you know what? Let's do a presentation for homeschooling parents, right? So you can do target marketing with your warm list as well. Director Burke, what are your thoughts on target marketing?
I think target marketing definitely helps along the process, like substantially, because like you said, if you are a member of a particular group or like people who have a bunch of interests together, you can utilize this business here and market those people based on what you guys have an interest in. Like for instance, I am I am in so many Philadelphia Eagles fan groups. It's amazing. But I know I can make easy friends with them. I can talk with them about the game, and when I'm talking with them about the game and everything, I can also include what I do in this business opportunity as well. So yeah, I think target marketing is key, and it should be one of those things that people first consider when they come in and make their list.
Yep, absolutely. So knowing your new business partner's background and say, let's do a targeted business presentation. I talk about that often, depending on what they are, especially like with educators, because I'm not part of that club, right? I'm not part of the educator club because I'm not a teacher, right? But if you're an educator, you are part of the club. They're gonna want, they're gonna be more open to coming to hearing what you have to say because you are part of the club. Same thing with fraternities and sororities, right? I can't approach an AKA as easy as someone who already is an AKA to go to them and say, hey, I'm doing a business presentation. I need all my sorority sisters on. I need y'all to hear this. Right. And because you're in the club, they're going to be like, okay, a lot different than me saying, hey, AKAs, come on, I want y'all to hear. Right. So that's something to consider. Let's see what we got here in the notes. Target market will allow people to see that people in the business are just like them. Exactly. From background to experience. 100% accurate on that. Exactly. All right. Christina, how would you target healthcare workers? I am surrounded by CNA and nurses that always complain they don't have enough money from their jobs. Very simple. You create a business presentation and say, hey, not making enough money from your job? I have the answer. Jump on this Zoom Tuesday at 6 o'clock and learn how you can get that time freedom and financial freedom to live the life you want to live. That's it. You answered your own question, Christina. You know what they're complaining about and saying, hey, I'm having a presentation to address the fact that you don't have enough money from your job. So if you are that person who's working in this healthcare system and you feel that you are not being paid your worth, I have something for you that you're going to want to check out. That's all. That's it. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. All right. Number 14. Always allow new distributors the courtesy of talking to their closest friends and family without the presence of their sponsor on the line. Interesting. Always allow the new distributor the courtesy of talking to their closest friends and family without the presence of their sponsor on the line. And I kind of get that, right? You're saying, your spouse, right? Your best friend, right? You don't need your upline involved in that conversation, right? These are your closest, right? This isn't, your cousin that you only speak to during the holidays, but they're saying like your immediate closest people, that the people you sleep, they live in your house, right? You don't need your upline to be, involved in that initial conversation with them, right? That should be a natural conversation to talk to your spouse or your closest, friend about the business opportunity. And then of course, you're just using your upline to be there to answer any questions. You just schedule a 3-way call with them. Speaking of 3-way call, 3-way calling is the most effective after the presentation, not before. When I read this, I'm like, duh, right? We do the 3-way call after the prospect has been exposed to the business, not before. Has anybody ever done a 3-way call with a prospect and come to find out they didn't watch the video? And you're like, why am I even on the phone if they don't even know what this is? Right? Let's say it together. Don't do that. Okay, let's not do that. The 3-way call is third-party validation. We are supposed to be validating the information that your prospect has already seen. And now we're there just to answer any clarifying questions that they may have. Right? You have to make sure your prospect has watched the information. They have looked at it. If not, do not waste your upline's time with getting them on a call. That's good. I like that, Shamika. That's why I started letting my new business partner hear me invite, or we do a role play on how to invite. Excellent. Yeah, Constant. Don't do that, right? So we do the three-way call after the prospect has been exposed to the presentation. Number 16. Excuse me. Find some type of system to track your prospects. Now, I tweaked the way that this was listed because in the book, they said use a file system. I'm like, it's 2024, dude. I'm not using no file system. I've even switched to a digital planner because it's 2024 and I can't take this big old book everywhere, right? So I'm doing a digital planner. But let's talk about this. Excuse me. I want everyone to type in the chat and let me know, what system are you using to track your prospects? And understand, there is no one size fits all for this. Some people are using a notebook. Some people are using Excel. Some people have found an app that is specifically designed for tracking prospects in sales like this. So, Director Burke, let's start with you. What system are you using to track your prospects? And I'm going to grab a drink of water while you answer this question.
Okay, so you already know we've been through this a lot, with my Microsoft Word documents, because you're always telling me you need to get Excel, you need to find some other way, but I don't know, Microsoft Word just works for me. It's like I'm comfortable with it. I'm able to track everything I do, like every single person that I ever prospect, every single person that I peak, I have a system down where, you know, I get them on the peak, and then I know when I have to send out the send out the videos to them. I know when I have to follow up to it. It just helps me out more than anything else ever did. And I mean, yeah, can I learn how to use an app and everything? Of course, but it's just one of those things. I'm in my comfort zone with it, and it's gonna be a hard time trying to get me out of that.
I'm not going to try to get you out of it as long as the numbers are moving. I'm good. What do I always say? If you like it, I love it. Right? So Constance says she's using the app that her network marketing company provides, right? So they have an app. Shamika says she has notebooks. Okay, that's good. That's good. Bridget says she's using Excel. Bridget, I was just trying to get my husband to move from Word to Excel. It's like it's the same thing, except now it's the stuff are in columns and rows, and now you can sort. You can't do that in a Word document. But if
You
he
can.
likes
You
it,
can
I
make
love it.
columns. You can make columns and rows and
Why
stuff in
make
Word doc.
columns if there's one already created in Excel?
I don't know. I just need to have my hand on the pulse of the
Oh
program, I
my
guess.
goodness. It drives me nuts, y'all. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. All right. Shamika says she also uses the app that her company provides, and her phone calendar as well. That's good. That's good. Bridget, she gets me. She understands. She's like, yeah, it already has all of that. Why would you try to do that in Word? Word is what caused Excel to come out. I'm sure it started with Word and then Excel came out. All right, I'm gonna get off of that. It's your system. You like it. I love it. All right, Boss Lady. She said digital cards since it has videos and pictures. Plus, I write them down on paper. All right, that's good. Josephine said I use a notebook. Yep, that's good. Beverly said I use a prospect journal from Amazon, right? So, okay, so she found something on Amazon that is specifically for tracking your prospects. I love that. I love that. I tried to tell him, Bridget. I tried. He just, mm-mm. And Beverly says she also uses the app. Good. That's good. But whatever the case is, at the end of the day, find some type of system to track your prospects. Whatever that is for you. I don't care if you're writing it on toilet paper and rolling it back up so you always got it, or whatever. You have to have a system, period. There's no way you're going to speak to thousands of people and be able to keep track of well, what was the situation for this person? When did they say they were going to be ready? This one has kids, this one doesn't. You're not going to remember all of that. There's absolutely no way. Okay. All right. Beverly, somebody wants to know the name of the book, the prospect journal that you found on Amazon. So if you can put that on the chat or post a link to it, we would appreciate that. They're like, oh, you found a prospecting journal? Yeah, I want in on that. All right, let's go to number 17. Call all the people on your prospect cards every 6 months until they either sign up or die. I get that question all the time. Well, Director Burt, Coach, how long should I follow up with them? Until they die or they put a restraining order on you? One of the two, or they sign up, one of the three. But a prospect is always a prospect because they will come back. I literally had someone tell me that they had prospected someone five years ago, and that person just joined the business. 5 years ago, and they just joined the business. So what would have happened if that person, that business partner, would have given up on that person, just wrote them off, be like, they told me no 5 years ago, I'm not going back? Then that person would have joined somebody else's team. Right? Divorce said, I work my app. It's been better. Yes. I'm also bringing back the whiteboard. Yes. So I have the whiteboard too. The way I use a whiteboard is because, of course, you're going to have hundreds and thousands of people on your list, right? But in any given week, would y'all agree like there's like a handful of people, maybe 5 people, they kind of like the hot prospects? You like, oh, they right there. Like I just need to drip on them just a little bit. So I would take those people and I make on my whiteboard it says hot list. And I just put those names on the list because I don't want to forget them. Why? Because I'm always focused on who's next, who's next, who's next. Well, while I'm focusing on who's next, who's next, who's next, I don't want to forget those 5 people that I need to drop on, right? So I'm going to put them on my whiteboard just so I always have a visual when I'm sitting at my desk, like, okay, I need to go back to these people because they're real close to me being able to close them. All right. Beverly is about to post the link for the prospect journal in the chat. I will put it up on the screen once she does that. And you could also put the name Beverly, just so that people can go on Amazon themselves and find it. Okay. Shamika said, I remember you saying that, and that's what I do, along with people who say yes to a Zoom presentation. Okay, so yeah, so she's using the whiteboard for the people that she invites to the presentation to say, oh, okay, these 10 people said that they were going to get on a webinar tonight. Let me go ahead and, prospect them, right? Let me do my follow-up with them. All right. Let's see how many more we could get in. Oh, nope. We're going to stop right here. We're going to stop right here. So y'all remind me tomorrow we are going to start with number 8. I'm not tomorrow. Tuesday. We're going to start with number 18. And just to give you a heads up, there's 29 takeaways for this chapter. All right. So I'm going to end it at number 17, and on Monday we're going to start at number 18. So let me hear from you all. What was your biggest takeaway from today? What was your biggest takeaway? Again, we are talking about chapter 5 of your first year in network marketing, attacking the warm list warhead. Overcome the reluctance to offer a quality lifestyle to family and friends. So, Director Burke, what would you say is your takeaway?
Yeah, my biggest takeaway was definitely reaching out to those people who are successful in life, the people who have businesses that got like money and everything, and not being scared to actually try to talk to them about the business, actually using posture and when it comes to approaching them about this business opportunity. That's my biggest takeaway.
All right, that's good. That's good. Beverly, just type the name in. We're not seeing any links. Just type the name that people can put in the Amazon search to file it. Josephine said, I use the whiteboard as well. The people that give a date to sign up also goes on my calendar and the whiteboard. So she got a name and a date. I love that. I love that. Anybody else? What was your biggest takeaway today from chapter 5 of the book, Your First Year Network Marketing? Let me get one more here. The high hanging fruit really need an opportunity to keep up with their lifestyle. Don't assume they have it because of looks. Ooh, that is so good, so good, so good, right? They got to keep up the lifestyle. Guess what? Inflation is affecting those people as well, right? So, all right. Beverly said it's called She Believed. So go in Amazon, type in She Believed, and you should be able to find the prospecting journal that she is using for the business. Amazing Case said, get better at getting the buy-in about the launch. Okay, that's good. Yep, because that's everything. That's everything. Don't qualify people because you never know what someone's problems are, right? Okay, Beverly is correcting it. She said it's called She Believed She Could, So She Did, is the name of the prospecting journal. She believed she could, so she did. So if you type that in Amazon, she believed she could, so she did, you should see the prospecting journal come up. All right, so that concludes Virtual Coffee Break today. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed and received any value out of our session today, please like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Add a comment. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from today's session. When we come back on Tuesday, we're going to continue with chapter 5 because I do have a lot more to share from this chapter. This chapter was chock full of takeaways. All right, that is the launch each week of the first 4 weeks of a new business partner. Yes, that has been very big in helping me move my numbers. Josephine said, takeaway to get to better organize my list and go back to people from 6 months ago. Yes, yes. Thank you, Constance. She says, thank you. Facebook, they said, very good information. Thanks. You are welcome. You are welcome. So everyone go out, be great, and I will see you back next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.